Revali, hero of the Rito people and one of the champions of Hyrule, can be just as grating as he is skilled in battle. And in Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, he brings his skills as an archer combined with his ability to freely soar through the sky like none other. Although he clearly has the skills to tear through the many waves of Hyrule's enemies, and is also very aware of that fact, without knowing how to use his playstyle, he can be a struggle for many players. Let's soar in and find out everything that he can do. Revali's regular attack string consists of 3 attacks. He will do a spin kick, rush forward and do a triple shot, and then finish with an elongated flurry of shots. Of course, this quick little attack string is just the start of his fighting style. By using his unique action, Revali is able to use his Gale to jump into the air and remain aloft for as long as you wish. However, if you take some damage, you will be knocked back down to the ground. In this mode, Revali has a much longer regular attack string that consists of 7 attacks, which has him fire off 6 subsequent rounds of arrows, and then finish off by firing 3 bomb arrows which explode on the ground. This aerial attack string is by far the more effective one, as its reach and speed can make it incredibly devastating and one of the most effective ways to clear crowds in the game. The downside of this, of course, is that you have to keep yourself from being damaged. Although if it happens, the only punishment is you falling to the ground, meaning you just need to take some time to get back into the sky. Later on, in the post-game, Revali is able to get an upgrade that allows his Gale Winds to hurt enemies that they touch, which can allow him to get a little bit of distance from his foes, so getting back into the air is usually no problem at all. Nevertheless, staying in the air is going to require a little bit of caution in order to get the most out of Revali. Moving on, Revali does have dash attacks, but only while on the ground. His regular dash attack has him stop and shoot off 3 small bomb arrows, while his strong dash attack has him do a quick flip through his foes as he continues moving. While dash attacks give other characters some more utility to either dig into fights or pick up extra KOs on the way, with Revali, if you're not in the air, then you're kind of doing it wrong. Normally, this is where I would move on to his aerial attacks, but Revali's entire true playstyle is in the air, and so everything that you could normally do with other characters is just part of his aerial moves. Instead, for the last part of this section, let's jump over to his Sheikah Slate runes. For his Stasis rune, Revali will time lock his enemies before firing a set of arrows into the sky, which all begin to rain down after a short amount of time. These arrows will cause a tremendous amount of hits, and a fantastic use of this rune is to wait until Revali fires off the arrows, and then instead of letting him do his cocky little stance, dodge cancel out of it and start attacking your enemy. If you can get to the third part of his regular attack string, all of the hits that he's about to do to the enemy will really help you break down weak points. Next up, for his Cryonis rune, Revali will summon up 4 blocks of ice and drop them down in a row in front of him, and that's it. For his Magnesis rune, Revali will grab metal weapons and start spinning them in front of himself, before blowing everything that's caught in this metallic vortex away. Like with other Magnesis runes, if you use this one without anything to grab, it will simply fail, but also won't start your rune cooldown. Last up, for his Remote Bomb rune, Revali will bring out 4 bombs before using the wind to blow them a distance ahead. Well, with all of his basic moves out of the way, let's move on to both his ground-based and aerial-based strong attacks next. Starting with his ground-based strong attacks, his first one is exactly the same as his dashing strong attack. So let's jump to the next ones. For his second grounded strong attack, Revali will create a gale under him before using it to fly and fire off a bomb arrow at the ground, doing an immediate burst of damage while the gale winds will continue to juggle and damage foes caught in it. For his third and final grounded strong attack, Revali will attempt to grab an enemy with his talons. However, this only works on smaller enemies and not the larger named ones. If you do grab something, Revali will fly up and then body slam them. And if you press strong attack again, he will do a follow-up attack where he creates a gale and fires off more bomb arrows, similar to his last strong attack. This is quite the odd move, as enemies you can actually grab with this are not the kind of enemies that you're going to want to spend a strong attack dealing with. Although you can hit larger enemies with it, this strong attack in general is just not the best use of your time. Now, let's jump over to his aerial strong attacks, of which he has 6. For his first one, Revali does an aerial dashing kick that launches onto and kicks off of your enemies. However, if it doesn't hit anyone, it will simply miss and force Revali back down to the ground. For his second strong attack, Revali does a similar move where he air dashes and kicks off in a different way. For his third aerial strong attack, Revali creates 3 air vortexes that fly off in 3 directions in front of him. Immediately after using this, you can press the strong attack button again to cause the air blast to explode, causing even more destruction. Next up, his fourth strong attack will have him enter an aiming stance, and you can use the strong attack button to precisely aim and then fire a bomb arrow. However, this will also just fire off if you don't press the button after enough time. Revali's fifth strong attack will have him spin downwards and create a tornado that travels a distance forward. While this attack can cut right through crowds easily, it also has the unfortunate side effect of forcing Revali back down to the ground whenever you use it, making it something that you need to make sure that you want to happen when you're about to use it. For his sixth and final aerial strong attack, Revali will both create a large air vortex and also fire off a bomb arrow. Additionally, the explosion of that arrow will also force out your enemy's weak point gauges. Just like his last one, this attack will also force Revali back down to the ground. But of course, it's definitely worth using this, as Revali needs to use their weak point exposer often. It's going to be something that you're just going to want to work around. Well, with all of his attacks out of the way, next we're going to jump over to his weapon and weapon build recommendation. Revali has 3 possible weapons, and going from weakest to strongest, they are the Traveler's Bow, Soldier's Bow, and Great Eagle Bow. I'll put a chart up on screen right now to show off their hidden level 25 and 30 seals, but when it comes to my weapon build recommendation today, I'm going to be focusing on his Great Eagle Bow. When it comes to this weapon, there are really just 2 options that you can go with. Focusing on attack speed with 3 more square seals, or focusing on aerial attack damage, which is Revali's best source of damage, with 3 more mid-air attack damage seals. I definitely recommend taking one of whichever one you didn't choose as your final seal, or just focusing entirely on one or the other. The choice is up to you. And just like that, we have Revali covered. Let's put everything together with him and see where he ends up. When first experiencing Revali's playstyle, I was very impressed that Koei Tecmo decided to go with a moveset that can allow you to do everything from the air, never having to come down. To me, it was the evolution of characters like Medley in the first Hyrule Warriors, and the Wyvern and Pegasus Riders in Fire Emblem Warriors. Had Revali just done this, I would happily be calling him a new standard in aerial warriors playstyles. However, there are just some things about how he plays that don't really add up for me, with things like wasted strong attack slots and the somewhat annoying mechanic of his aerial moves forcing him back down to the ground for some reason. While Revali's playstyle isn't really one of my personal favorites, what it does offer is undeniably strong. Honestly, just the way his regular attacks work in the air alone make him very deadly. For example, to me, there's no one better to take in a number of missions of the game, especially the ones where you KO after a single hit. Even if he's not my favorite, Revali, for his power, if not his personality, definitely deserves respect. So, what are your thoughts on Revali? Be sure to let me know in the comments below, and also if there was anything big that I missed, go ahead and drop that down below as well. If I need to, I'll be making a pinned comment on this video for anything big that I may have left out. As always, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I hope to see you next time. I'd like to give a special thank you to my top patrons DW7 Still Rules, Henry Gutierrez, Ryan Poe, and True Tactician, as well as to all my other patrons. Thank you all very much.